Listen, when we first saw the numbers come out, the critic reviews for Borderlands, which debuted at a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way, until Grace Randolph saved it with a positive review to bump it up to 4%. We knew it probably wasn't going to go over well. We knew that this movie had a bigger budget than some people would have expected. Another video game adaptation, which for years, Jeremy, you've been saying we're going to see an increase in them. And we certainly have seen a big increase in Borderlands movies. But now after the opening weekend, it's safe to say that this movie is really made for no one. Clearly not normie fans, clearly not video game fans. And as we look right now, this is how it's going. Now, all critics, it's up to a 9%. Top critics still at a 0%. But that all audience score is at a 38%. If we do go verified audience, the people who thought it was good enough to give it a chance at the beginning, that is sitting at 50. However, the fact that it's only 250 reviews, verified reviews, should tell you something, that almost no one's going to see the movie. And that was the case this weekend. $8.8 million opening weekend for Borderlands. That is almost on par with Despicable Me, which has been out for weeks and weeks and weeks at this point. That's less than Twisters and its fourth weekend at the box office. This is going to be it might end up being the biggest flop of the year. We know that Madam Web only made $100 million total, but that movie had like an $80 or $90 million budget. The Borderlands budget is around $120 million. Oof. This was even worse than people expected. They had soft expectations to begin with. It couldn't even crack $10 million at the box office.
Yeah, this is a complete and total disaster. And this is what you're going to get with these video game adaptations. I know I have not seen it. I don't even know anyone. I guess Gary saw it. I don't know anyone else that's seen this movie. You haven't seen it, right, Ryan?
I have not. No, I didn't feel the desire.
I don't know if it's because it's woke, or is it just because of the casting is so completely off? Was it because it was trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, I don't know specifically what the biggest issue is, or maybe it's a combination of several issues that this movie has. But ultimately, the fans of the franchise, which I've never played Borderlands, never could get into it. But the fans of the franchise absolutely are not interested in any capacity whatsoever. And I remember when this came out, and I was just like, I mean, it's got a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe to it. What are they going to do here? Is this going to hit like the normie audiences because of the vibe and the feel? And Borderlands fans were like, this is dog shit, dude. This is absolutely horrendous. And they were right.
Yeah, and obviously Borderlands is a game filled with a lot of comedy, kind of wacky shit and stuff like that. But when you go out there, this is what we say for every single adaptation. When you buy the rights to something, or you're making a film based on something, the thing that should be your top priority is making sure fans of that thing, whether it's a video game, whether it's a book series, right, whatever it may be, that fans of that thing should be your first focus, because they're the ones that are most likely come out and support it. That's why you probably wanted to do a movie with that name, to get that built-in fan base with that IP. And over again, we see that that's not the case. Take a look at the Halo series, for instance. And that should have been the first thing on their minds, is to make something that would feel right and rewarding for Halo fans. Instead, they went the exact opposite way. And, you know, I like Cate Blanchett, and I'm not going to lie, I'd clap Cate Blanchett's cheeks right now. I think she's still hot, right? But you probably shouldn't cast a 50-plus-year-old Cate Blanchett as your character who's supposed to be like in her 20s. Like, things like that don't really make any sense. And we are seeing them pay in a big way at the box office.
Yeah. I mean, you look back to the Halo show and how disastrous that was. Thank God that it got canceled after 2 seasons. You're going to get a lot of these situations where people that just don't understand the video game, but they understand that it has a following, and they understand that they can try to capitalize. You're going to see a lot of this where people are just going to try to pounce off of this and try to capitalize off of it. We're going to see a lot of terrible video game adaptations. We're going to see a lot. And we're also probably going to see some really good ones too. There's probably going to be a couple out there that happen that are surprising. But yeah, this is probably going to be the standard right here, because they see an opportunity to capitalize off of this massive multi-billion-dollar industry and these huge fan bases. But it's going to be people that don't know anything about it.